Hello there, you're watching and listening to another Scoutcast on www.fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. My name is Mark.
My name's Granville.
My name's John T.
My name's Andy.
Did I put too many W's in? I think I said www didn't I?
Yeah, there's 4 W's there.
Yeah, we've just lost loads of traffic there. We've lost about 4 people who would have gone to the site otherwise. I'm an idiot. What an idiot. Yes, welcome to the Scoutcast. It's another one. Another Scoutcast. And what a game week it was. Not really in terms of points, but events. A cruel blow with Coutinho injury. That, not surprisingly, is going to take or hog the headlines tonight. We're going to talk a lot about Coutinho and what it means. It was sadly, it was a very cool blow for Liverpool. Very convenient one for me. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the impact on Aguero. So we're going to talk Coutinho replacements. We're going to talk Harry Kane. We're going to talk Arsenal with Phil Sanchez and Walcott. Is that correct, John T? We're going to talk about them. You want to know about this, don't you?
Yeah, we'll come to it. But there's a basic theme emerging. Do you get an expensive person, or do you get their cheap teammates? So, and that happens. And there's a lot of teams.
Well, there's Pedro Hazard as well.
Exactly.
We're going to touch on that. We've got Rough with the Smooth as well, including a very touching tale from the community, which is excellent. We love to see that. And we've got obviously the game week preview. We've got lots to get through. So let's get cracking with our own game weeks first of all. And it was pretty miserable all round, wasn't it? It was a pretty poor scoring game week. No one did spectacularly well. In the end, Andy came top, did he? Who came top? Yeah, Granville did. Well, there you go. It's got to be a strange one, and Granville tops the Scoutcast. But you got 52 points for a 4-point hit. Talk us through it, Granville.
Let's see. What can I tell you? My game week rank is 1 million, so it was all right, I guess. But I got fortunate, didn't I, Mark?
Oh, hold on. Who did you get off the bench?
I got Macaulay off the bench. Now,
so who did you start?
If my notes are right, and I do have a notebook of all my seasons. I think this is only the second time I've had a double pointer off the bench. The other time was Shelney, who got me 11 points 4 years ago.
Do you log this then? Your logbook of bad luck. Let me see who you started. Hold on. So you started. Oh, you started Jenkinson. Okay, well that's fine. It was surprised that Jenkinson didn't turn up. I don't know what happened there. Debuchy came from nowhere.
I mean, I did put Macaulay first sub rather than Carrick. I guess it's a bit of a no-brainer that. I mean, I can do that now that I got Carrick. Even Carrick didn't play, so I would have got him anyway. But fortunate, very, very jammy. I admit it. I got points off the bench. I was lucky.
Well,
not something that you do, Mark.
No, I wouldn't know about that. I met someone.
No, you'd say, "Oh, I got a deep bench."
It's squad management. That's what it is. I met someone on Sunday who was in a very competitive mini league, and he said that they used to run. He talked about the Luck League, and I go, "What's the Luck League?" And he said what they did. There was 5 or 6 of them. And they used to get together and run a separate league table and award points for luck and bad luck. And I was like, I'm having that. I'm nicking that idea for the Scoutcast. So basically, we've got to come up with a set of criteria, which includes getting points off the bench. So and then whoever's the luckiest in a game, it gets a point basically. And then we keep a running total of it. So far, Granville, with Macaulay off the bench, I think you get 3 points for that. What do you reckon, John T? 3 points for 10 points off the bench?
Well, I'm certainly not going to be competing with him this week, but yeah. So yeah, I think points off the bench, first haul of points off the bench there, well deserving of a point.
What do you reckon for save penalty? Granville, 5 points for penalty save, do you? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. What you get luck points for save penalties? Yeah. You'd win a league just on save points.
I'm keen to track this.
I tell you something. I tell you something though, when I saw Macaulay and he had 10 points for a sub, and I actually posted up on the website and said, I've got Walcott, Jenkinson, and who else wasn't playing? Austin. And there was one other player, and it says, what are the chances of one of these not playing? And at the end of it, I put 0. It was just sort of one of those double mocker things that you put.
Of little faith. Jenkinson didn't turn up, no. No, but he could have been more. He could have been 15, couldn't he? I thought he was going to go the whole hog and get the clean sheet as well, but missed out.
It is actually a worry, though, because now I've got Jenkinson, Van der Horn, and Carrick. None of them played.
How did you end up with Van der Horn? How is that possible? How did you end up with Van der Horn?
Did you not listen last week? I swapped him for a Matt. And Matt wasn't playing. Van der Horn played 3 straight games, I think it was.
Did he?
And then I got him in the wild card, and he gets dropped for a Matt.
I remember now. Well, Matt's going to be. You should have just kept him out.
Well, of course I should. But it was the right thing to do because he wasn't playing. He hadn't played for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Listen, we could go on all night talking about Granville's silly moves and bad luck.
Talk about luck. You get 1 point. You get 1 point from Matt for keeping him because you're lucky, and Defoe.
Anyway, you'll be all right with Jenkinson because Debussy is injured now. They've got no one else to play with.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah, well, Debussy was always going to get injured. I feel so sorry for him. Actually, I was reading in the website about Abu Dhabi, who's gone over to Marseille. You know, he was released by Arsenal last year.
Yeah.
He's still only played 4 games for Marseille in 18 months. So
he was the kind of player that you sign, Abu Dhabi. If injury prone, Granville always looks him up, don't you? You love an injury prone player. Then you can moan about your bad luck afterwards. Andy, you're next in the game week. How many did you get? 54?
Yeah, 54.
A hit as well. Talk about your hit. What was that about?
Yeah, so I went through with the transfer that I was chatting about last week. I got rid of Aguero and Joe Allen. Brought in Zlatan to captain. So that was nice. 3 bonus points. And then Sigurdsson as well with a goal and the assist. So that week I'm probably up about 9 or 10 points, I think, because my captain was on Coutinho until I made that transfer. So I think I got a bit lucky there. We'll chat about it later. Aguero gone. I don't know if it's worth the stress.
No, let's chat about it now because let's bring John to you at this point because incredibly, and I was shocked, you took an 8-point hit and that included jumping too early into the fire pit. I thought we were going to hold hands and do it this week as a trio.
Well,
and you two just went. You were like, I'm standing on the edge going, where are you gone?
I said I was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my team. I wanted Kane in and I wanted Sigurdsson in. And, you know, we were talking about motivation last week in games and, you know, wanting getting players in that you want. And I just looked at it and gradually, you know, these hits, they start getting a bit moreish. And so I looked at Sigurdsson and something like Rondon. And that just didn't feel right. It was. I definitely wanted to get rid of Redmond and Lukaku, so I got rid of those two. So that was fine. I mean, I've dumped two players I don't want, and they didn't do well. And I wanted to get Sigurdsson in, so Sigurdsson kept me going. But yeah, I wanted to get someone. You know, it just didn't feel right, really. And then I was looking at Giroud, and then there was the Fantasy Football Scout Spot the Differential article about Giroud. So this is
blame us.
Oh, I'm sorry for you printing articles about players to get in, and then saying, "Oh no, don't get them in. We were just joking."
No, it was a differential, but I mean, you know, it's a risky one. That was a risk. Well, I'm sure I'll read
and that's
it
what
again.
I was talking about. So I was thinking, okay, so do I look back on that game week and say it had gone well? So it didn't go that well. So say it went well. You know,
it's followed a familiar pattern this season,
but the thing is, if I look back and I go, yeah, do you remember that game week where Rondon got a goal at Hull? Or do you remember that game week where Giroud got a brace and no one thought he was going to?
That's what you're doing. You're playing your season now on little memories, things to take.
Yeah,
into next
well, that's
year.
what you've got to do. That's
just
what
like little, yeah.
That's what you've got to do.
No.
That's what you've got to
we
do.
talked about last week.
I mean, it's like going back. We've said it before, and I've had lots of discussions with people on the website about it. About what there are lots of people who've 10,000 rank, 50,000 rank. They just say, "Oh my God, I'm so bored. I'm not moving anywhere." And I'm saying, well, I'm kind of moving down a bit, but basically, yeah, I'm still at a bad rank. And yeah, it is really difficult. So you got to start thinking, what do you want to take from the season? And some of my best memories in fantasy football, whether they are low ranked or high ranked, are those things like captaining Drogba when everyone captained Van Persie or something like that. It's doing something a bit different. And I would remember that. So unfortunately didn't. But the thing was, Giroud came on and in 10 minutes looked more dangerous than half the rest of the Arsenal side. And he got an assist. And God, if he'd have been on for 20 minutes, that would have been a goal and assist.
But he's trained his hamstring again.
He hasn't. Apparently, it's his groin. So it's moved upwards.
Right, yeah.
And
his groin always gets him into trouble.
It's a little problem. As Wenger said.
Yeah.
So we don't know. I mean, and hopefully he'll play, but who knows? And
well, let's go back to Aguero, right? Because Andy, you knew he was going to play, did you? You were pretty confident he was going to play. He had a little flag on him, but we kind of knew he was going to start, didn't we? We knew. Don't know what Pep was up to there with that thing. It was very strange. But so were you worried when you saw him on the team sheet, Andy, or were you thinking that's a tough fixture anyway?
Well, I was a bit a bit more worried once I saw that Heaton was not playing.
Yeah.
So I was actually at a judo competition with my little boy, And I actually said to my missus, just to let you know.
Oh, you didn't take it out on him, did you? Right,
just to let you know, I said to her that I'm going to be in a bad mood later because I got rid of Aguero and he's playing against Burnley and they haven't got Tom Heaton. And she said to me,
and she just nodded you blankly.
She said, "Who'd you get in for him?" And I said, "Ibrahimovic." She said, "Oh Christ, even I know that was a bad move."
That's a classic.
So
brilliant.
Yeah, so I was worried, and I don't know if it's worth the stress because Costa's done the damage this year, right? He's been the one scoring points, and I've not worried about him once, but because you just don't ever think he's going to get that hat trick. Whereas Aguero, there's just that thought in your mind. So I was checking every 5 minutes to see what the score was.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to score. Like, it's just how many, really. So I feel like I've got away with it. Chelsea up next is not so bad, but
yeah. So John T, how did you feel? I mean, did you have doubts that he would play?
Well, the thing is, I got Kane in for him. So although Kane didn't do all right, I've got Kane in place. So my thing was to go into this game week with Kane and Sigurdsson in place, and also I thought they could get something, and Kane almost did actually. It was an offside in the end, but. Basically I was out as well. So one other thing was I knew I was out, so I wouldn't be around to like Andy.
You were out the way, and it was safe.
Because I would come back to it, and then I saw that.
Were you somewhere remote without a mobile phone signal?
I saw Aguero had got 2 goals, and I thought, oh, okay, because I've still got loads of players to go, and I still had the Liverpool players to play. So I wasn't too worried about it really, because I didn't have that thing of listening to it or watching it to think, oh my god, he could have got 5. Yeah.
If I had sold Aguero and I'd have seen he got 2 goals,
I think it was.
No, because as Andy said, then I looked at the team sheet and I think I would have been much more the Heaton thing.
Yeah.
Because I went into that thinking, okay, Burnley away. Burnley haven't really conceded more than 1 or 2 goals away, and because of Heaton. And I really didn't think that they would get much. And then they've got Chelsea next, so he might get a goal.
No, I can see the logic.
And then I could get him back. So it's not like one of these things where, oh, I've gone Aguero-less, therefore I'm never going to have him again. It's like I move him out for a couple of weeks, get in Kane, who is someone I want to captain for a particular week. I can afford Sigurdsson then, and then game week 15, maybe 16, I can assess whether Aguero might be rested or not, and get him back in again. And that's still very much the intention. But so I didn't. Well, but yes, it's the Heaton thing. So once again, bad luck. Okay, I actually don't think he would have scored 2 goals, and they were pretty.
Well, I'll tell you what, City were dreadful.
Yeah, that's it. I don't
2 of the worst goals.
It was a classic match where I didn't think. I saw Aguero against Palace as well, but yeah, so I didn't listen to it. So, but the thing is now, I might be around for the next games and stuff. I'm not too worried about Chelsea. No one's going to captain him.
No, he'll be all right there.
Maybe he'll get a hat trick. I don't know, but I don't think a lot of people will captain him. And
you just never know.
But then it's away to Leicester. There's Arsenal and Chelsea have got a good fixture then as well. I've still got a bit of time to decide, but then I'll probably look to get him back. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of these things. You take these moves, and people criticise people for being dull and boring. People criticise people for making maverick moves. I mean, you can't really win. So
I'm going to get back, aren't I? Because I was packing Sergio last week.
Yeah, I mean, at least I've got to my word, Mark.
No, I know, but I can't.
Yeah, you can.
He's just ridiculously convenient. I looked at it and went, well, I've got to get rid of Coutinho. I want to get Sigurdsson. Oh, look, I can now just upgrade Lukaku to Kane. Why would I not do that? And the thing is, I was like, well, Lukaku could go and score at Southampton, but he didn't. And so I waited. I let Lukaku play. I did Sigurdsson Saturday night. And then I thought, well, I'll leave it in case Lukaku does well. And then I maybe will get rid of Aguero. But then Lukaku didn't keep his side of the bargain. He had 1 shot. And that's the difference then between Aguero and Lukaku. Everton play badly. Lukaku's useless. He can't drag that team forward.
No. City
play badly somehow. It happened last year when I got rid of Aguero. They played really badly at West Ham and he got 2 goals. They didn't play very well at Burnley, and they missed De Bruyne and Silva. He took a gamble, and they got away with it. And I don't know what else I could have done. I've done the same. I'm not silly. I've got to have done the moves I've done. I've got rid of Coutinho for Sigurdsson. I've got rid of Lukaku for Kane. I know I've gone back on my word, but I'm sorry. I apologise.
It's so frustrating for people like me who made that move, and also for people like Andy and Granville who got Kane in before, and then suddenly, and everyone's worrying, how do I get Kane in? Suddenly Coutinho goes. It's absolutely easy, and you look at that, and you look at how bad Lukaku is, and you look at that, and you think Sigurdsson to Kane and Kane in brilliant. Everyone's done it.
I know, it's
a lot of people have done it for a hit.
Too convenient, right? No one wants to celebrate Coutinho's injury because it's an incredible tragedy for him.
It's literally the most obvious pair of transfers I've ever seen.
But it has literally fallen in our laps. And it's like, I really don't like to see Coutinho injured, and I feel sorry for Liverpool, and I really hope they can carry on without him. But to be fair, I was like, that's quite convenient, because it's like 0.1 in it, and I was like, I'm going to have to do it, aren't I? I'm going to have to go back on what I said. And no, I hope I'm not like the Pied Piper, like, come on everybody, and then sneaking around the back and letting everyone else jump. But you two did jump a week early, so
come on, get Giroud, everyone.
I didn't say that.
Come on, he's brilliant.
I'm happy enough right now. I'm up on the deal. Keeper has a better fixture. He's got 3 goals in 2 games now. He's on fire.
No, fair enough. Look, if you're happy.
I think.
But I just wanted to add one more thing. Although it may seem odd, what all of the things I've done, I've got Citizen Kane in place. That's great.
Citizen Kane is a great film.
And I was also gonna go even more. We talked about it a bit earlier. I was gonna go even more crazy, and I was gonna get Negredo in instead of Giroud, because I tipped him last week.
I can't believe the Negredo call.
And
I cannot believe
I tipped him on the Fantasy Island risk, and he came in, and that actually annoyed me more than Aguero. Was seeing those 2 goals from Negredo and thinking, I could have.
How do you call Negredo's brace when he hasn't scored since game week 1? And then you end up.
Well, we'll come to it at the end of the show when I wax lyrical about the 5 players on the goals imminent table who scored.
Oh no, I knew that had something to do with it. Let's move on quickly.
I was going to get Llorente, but I didn't mention it already.
You should have mentioned it.
Actually, Llorente's had good stats this year, to be fair, and I
know. That's why I didn't want anyone else to catch on.
Let's do rough with the smooth before the table comes out. And
okay, so God bless Wurzel Gummidge, one of our posters.
Okay, which head has he got on this week?
He's got my head on. He's got the Jonty head. So he got rid of. He actually worse than my.
You mean he's lost it?
Well, it was worse than my transfer, so it's a rare find. He got rid of Sanchez and Austin, and out for Firmino and Giroud, like I did. Followed your advice, Mark, and. For a hit, and he reckons that cost him about 20 points by the looks of it. So that's more than that. So FPL Virgin, he captained Lukaku, slipping. Played
risky.
Played Holibas over Macaulay, so he had to suffer watching that.
Always play Macaulay. He's always got the goal in him, isn't he?
And Bilfred, this is Bilfred. I completely sympathise with. I'm still in this position. He got 26 points. Despite having, and he showed me his side on site. It's brilliant. He's got Coutinho, Firmino, Kane, Costa, and Hazard, and a whole bunch of other players who are all quite good, and they could only get him 26 points. That's heartbreaking, that is. But I've got Smooth. We're only dedicating this just to one manager.
Yeah, this is a great story. Well, it's unfortunate, but a great story.
It is. So, one of our posters, regular posters, Giggs Boson, has been ill recently, and he couldn't continue running his fantasy football side, which was around the 1.25 million mark around game week 7. And some friends of his on the site and the community, like Late Riser, 12, and I believe the Fantasy Freak as well, got together, and there's some kind of committee that takes place where they now manage his side for him.
Do they meet somewhere? Do they
I don't know if they meet or it's online. And so the first thing they did is they immediately took game week 8 a wild card. And 6 weeks on, with no hits, just that wild card and just normal transfers, he's now 149,000. So they've shaved more than 1 million off his rank.
So are you? I mean, that's amazing.
Take over my team. Obviously, it's amazing.
I was going to say, do they charge for this?
Well, they've had 2, and so the transfer value 102.2, so a little bit below mine actually. They got 79 points, very smooth in game week 13. Captain Aguero, and they had Sanchez and Walcott. So basically, if those 3 do well, they do well, and they do well. So
Giggs Boson is all right. What's the latest on him?
Well, the further good news is that they say that Giggs Boson is now on the mend as well. So that's great news, and
that will help him as well. Won't it?
Yeah. So they put a link up to it. The ID is 831. So if you have a look at 831 on the Fantasy Premier League,
nice and not an early ID. That shows how
this shows how dedicated he is. He usually does very, very well. And knows his stuff, but I thought that was great that everyone kind of rallied around, and the keeping it going. He'll still be up there in the Hall of Fame, and so that's good.
No, well, I know where to go now. When I collapse from exhaustion, I'll go straight to this lot. They can run my team. That's fine. Fantastic. That's if they're not managing jaunties by then. Let's do the community questions then. It's all about Coutinho, isn't it? It's all about that. So we'll start with that. I mean, that leads into a number of questions, doesn't it, really? So do you want to fire away then, John?
Yeah, well, this is it. Basically, a lot of people are asking Coutinho replacements. A lot of people have already done those moves because he's gone up. He's gone down 0.2 already, and it looks like he'll go down again another time.
Yes, going down fast. I don't.
I hate it. I hate it.
A couple of days.
It's relentless. The market is so unforgiving. It's just like, who should I get in Coutinho? Oh, wait a minute, he's just gone down 0.3.
We saw this. Right? I think something has changed with the algorithm because the reason why I say this, we saw this with Hazard. Do you remember he went down 0.3 in a week?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I know he's very well owned, but I think they need to.
It's to do with that.
They definitely need to put a curb on it because three times in 3 days is taking the mickey out of us, I think.
But it's got to be linked to the ownership. Now, I don't remember that being this big a factor before. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've said this before. I don't really study the way the algorithm works. I just get a sense for it. And my sense is that Hazard went down too quick. And my sense again is that's really. I looked today. I was like, no, it's already. And he's not. He didn't even have a red flag on, did he?
Before we carry on, how many transfers do you think he's lost? How many transfers do you think he's had? How many transfers do you think he's had?
It's 400,000. It's 400,000.
And that is a lot.
Because we put the story up earlier and I checked, there's 400,000. And yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot, but I don't know. I just get like John. I thought very quick. Yeah, I suppose
unforgiving. But so yeah, he's out of the equation. 5 weeks at least. Lukaku is just fading fast. So lots of people. I've got lots of questions about these are the kind of key players they want to replace it with. And there's one of our posters, F Society. He put up a quote. I think it may have been a bit of a dig at us, but at the same time, it actually sums up this kind of situation. Do you not feel like a dog running around in circles trying to chase your tail by simply making every player that scores a weekend essential and every big player that blanks poor value that could be covered elsewhere for money? And this is exactly
I'm not sure we're doing that.
If I didn't take that as a criticism, I took that as a really good synopsis of this season. It is.
Well,
You're constantly.
We did say this.
No, this isn't. I wouldn't take this personally. This is everyone. This is all fantasy managers. I can't come to this every week. We've all got our own decisions to make, and every weekend we think, "Wow, Hazard 19 points. Let's get him in." Next week, "Wow, Sanchez 14 points. Let's get." And then we start thinking, well, can we get Pedro? Can we? And this is it. And this has been happening all season.
It has been like that.
All season. Really, it sums up the season. Right? I think.
But I don't know whether I know we had that case with Hazard a couple of weeks ago when he got the brace against Everton, and that was his fourth goal in 4 games. For me, Hazard's been the one where he stood out, and there was a point where he went, blimey, we've got to get Hazard in our teams. That's the one, right? I don't think we're suddenly going back to Sanchez and going, oh, no, we've changed our mind now, you want to get Sanchez. I don't think we've ever written it like that or anyone said it like that. I think we knew we were going to get burned. When we got rid of Sanchez, and I did 3 weeks ago, I kind of knew, like, oh, he's going to hurt me. I'm going to have to take it. As we said on this show, it's a sacrifice, though. And we kind of go, well, if we want Alonso and Hazard, Sanchez has got to go. It's not
it's not a personal thing. This is just saying this is what happens every weekend to fantasy managers. We're like a dog running around. Who do we get in? And so what about Ibrahimovic? Oh, okay, he doesn't score for 6 weeks. No one wants him. Hang on a minute, he's just scored a brace again. But then he gets suspended. It's just you constantly changing. There's so many heavy hitters.
I think the Aguero situation is like that. I've said the Aguero thing. And every couple of weeks.
And also, the reason I put this quote in here and read it out is because all of what we're about to talk about.
To wind me up, basically.
To wind you up, but also, no, for the rest of the show, is because it's exactly this. We're about to go through a list of a lot of heavy hitters, and we're also going to go through a list of those who are a bit cheaper versions of them. And the first one.
Granville, Johnty's got a list now.
It's a list.
Okay.
But this is a good one. Because it's Sanchez or Walcott. Now, Mark and Granville have Walcott in their sides. I know Andy has got some things to say about Walcott. I'm tempted to get him in, but I'm undecided. So this is a test for both of you, the camps of Walcott or not to Walcott, to try and convince me. So Mark Harborough asked, would you rather have Walcott to cover Sanchez? Hurricane says Alexis or Theo, an FPL virgin, is Sanchez worth the extra money? So I'm going to hand this over to Andy first, because he's come up with some stats which are potentially worrying about Walcott.
Is that prep time for this? He's done his homework.
Over to you, Andy.
Go on.
Well, no, I'll tell you why I've looked at this is because as soon as I saw Coutinho was going to be out, Walcott was my number one replacement for him.
Yeah, and he's top of the transfers in.
Yeah, he's the one that I looked at, and I thought I'll just have a quick look at the stats because there's Eriksen, Ali, they've got good fixtures. There's other players. I'll just compare them. And Walcott's stats compared to the first 8 games are really on the slide. And the big thing that's happened, which Irish Madridster on the site pointed out to me, was that's exactly when Cazorla got injured. So Arsenal as a team have slid a bit, but Walcott seems to be the most impacted out of the attackers. So I quickly looked at some stats. Now, the only thing with this is since Cazorla got injured, he missed the Sunderland game, which was obviously quite fruitful for Ozil and Sanchez. But as an example, so goal attempts, Sanchez and Ozil have actually increased slightly, but Walcott is now having a third of the goal attempts he was having before. Chances created, a 0.2 drop for Sanchez and Ozil. Walcott's has halved, so he's now creating half a chance every game on average. So his stats have slid. I don't know if the fixtures are now good enough to warrant getting him in. I'm not saying you should sell him. I don't think anyone should sell him who's got him as an owner. I'm just now wondering if there's better options, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Eriksen and Ali, for example.
Possibly. Go on, Graham.
Can I just add? Because I need to get a word in here. What time period are we talking about? When you say Walcott, you're saying what, halfway through?
4 game weeks?
So Cazorla was 1 to 8. I looked at 1 to 8, and then 9 to.
Yeah, but I mean, Walcott hasn't played. 1 game he missed, and the other 2 games he hasn't had nearly as many minutes as Sanchez. Sanchez has played all the minutes. So
that's potentially another concern then, right?
Oh yeah, that is a concern
because Walcott is he is injury prone, and then when he came back, I think he went off early. I think against Spurs, that was it. And what was the other game? Oh yeah, and he went off early against Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, so he's going to go off on 70 minutes a lot.
Yeah. It just depends on the score. It depends on the situation in the game. But,
of course. And like I say, he could do damage in that time.
I mean for me,
years, and if he's got reduced minutes, surely that's a risk for people who are bringing him in. And like I said, I'm not saying you two should sell it. I'm definitely not. I mean, someone like me wants a replacement.
I think his points per minute are similar to Sanchez. He hasn't got as many points as Sanchez, but the price difference is huge. I think it's
3.4 million.
That's a lot. That's almost half a player.
Yeah, I agree. I actually thought when Sanchez was doing well at the start of the season, I brought Walcott in because he was matching him in the first 8 game weeks. I think he scored like 4 goals or something, but he's only scored 1 since.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need to match him.
I don't think he's going to match him. I think Sanchez will end up being the top scoring player in the game, probably. It'll be him or Hazard. It's going to be close. I mean, everyone's talking about, should never have sold Sanchez. Look at what he's doing. Hazard's still a point ahead of him. So if you'd have had Hazard at the start of the season, you'd be better off. So that I don't quite understand. I mean, Sanchez is going to be up there as the top point scorer, no doubt about it. Walcott's not going to be near him. But is he going to be 3.4 million behind him? I mean, how many points do you put on 3.4 million? For me, that's a defence with 1 heavy hitter and lots of 4-5s and a 4, versus a defence with a couple of heavy hitters and a 5 million, which is probably what I'm going to end up with. I think that makes a difference to me.
And also because the heavy hitters are now turning it on, like Aguero, Kane, Hazard. There's a lot. That's a lot of your budget gone. You've got to find somewhere to downgrade. If you're going to downgrade Aguero, which you can do, I guess, with De Bruyne, then you can fit in Sanchez into your team. I don't see how you can have Sanchez, Kane, Hazard, and Aguero, and a Liverpool midfielder.
It's one of Aguero or Sanchez. It's one of Aguero or Sanchez, and we might have got it wrong. We might have done. It's going to be. So the only thing with Sanchez is I captained him for 3 weeks in a row and he delivered in one of them. But it made me think, will I captain Sanchez as regularly as I would captain Aguero? And that's the factor in favour of Aguero. But, we go hot and cold with Aguero and we're going to carry on going hot and cold with Aguero. That's a great feeling on Cazorla. There's no doubt Cazorla's had a big impact on us.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're not been getting results. They're not nearly as fluent. I hope he comes back. I mean, when he got injured, I just thought that he had like a little minor. He got a kick in his Achilles. I thought it was like a minor You know, it must. I mean, it must be very fragile. He's been out for 4 weeks.
Well, the Achilles is dodgy, though. It's difficult, and he's that kind of player who needs mobility. John T, you're the most similar to him in physical appearance amongst us. So
I am actually, because so
you're able to talk more on this.
I had a little look into it, and so since Cazorla's been out, Walcott has had scores of 3, 2, 2, and 9. So he's got 16 points, and so yes, he obviously missed the Sunderland match. Sanchez, however, has got 3, 13, 2, 1, and 14. So he's got 33 points. So he's pretty much double the player. But this is what worried me about Walcott when I had a look at the last 4 game weeks. So he only started 3. He's had 1 shot on target in 3 matches. Now, even for his price of just below 8 million, I want to see more shots on target than that, definitely. And chances created, 1. So I perhaps want to see Özil's got 11. So Özil's only had 2 shots on target.
Yeah, but he's 9-9.
He's 9-9. Yes, I know, exactly. But that's the thing. I'm looking at that, and one of the reasons for me, and I think the reason I've mentioned about me is because I think a lot of other people are in this situation because they've got Coutinho, and it's the sensible move for me to do is Coutinho to Walcott. Done. That is completely the sensible move to do. But as people who've been following this know, the last few weeks I haven't been sensible. That's partly what's stopping me. But I think I might just do it, but it doesn't sit quite right with me.
You don't like it?
I don't like it, but I do accept it's a sensible move. And one of our contributors and moderators, Ryan, was saying, can you stop taking hits and start being...
Did you see today that Theo Walcott has said that Melanie has promised him a coffee machine?
And I was going to mention that. So, I mean, that does sound like exactly the kind of motivation for Theo Walcott, because he's a very boring kind of person. And
Theo's lovely.
Oh, lovely coffee machine, Melanie.
No, he's a good guy. I'm not having that. I'm not having you knock him.
He's the John Major of football. Have you ever heard him being?
No, he's not. He's fine. Leave him alone. He's fine.
But yes, so I will probably get him in. It doesn't quite sit right with me. And he'll score against West Ham, and I'll think, well, that's great.
This is what you get with Theo is, well, I know he's only good on the pitch for an hour, maybe 70 minutes, but he's a very attacking, direct player playing in Arsenal's team.
With 1 shot on target in 4 games.
They are going to, I know, but he's not a player.
2 goal attempts.
Well, one of those
games.
One of those games he didn't play, and the other one was against United, where Arsenal were just pathetic.
Yeah, so, they were dreadful. And Sanchez is bad.
He played in the last 3 games. He played 70, 90, 75. The thing is, though, here is I'm not necessarily saying that Sanchez is the better option. Obviously, he's more expensive, but people are looking.
He is.
Yeah, but people are looking for Coutinho replacements. They're not looking at Sanchez. They're looking at Walcott versus Eriksen versus Ali versus Pedro. And I don't know if Walcott, when you compare him to those guys, is necessarily the one to bring in right now.
Well, I think if you haven't got Sanchez, you got Sigurdsson's first choice. I mean, it's like the Hazard thing. It's like, whatever more evidence do you want? Penalties, free kicks, never going to get rotated, form, fixtures. It's like it's so much in his favour. You'd be silly to go anyone other than Sigurdsson.
And Sigurdsson's exciting as well as the 5-4. I mean, what a game! And that's going to happen all the time with Swansea because they're terrible and
they can't defend. Yeah. I know he's got Spurs, but it's his former club, and I believe in.
But the thing is about Walcott is if I do get Walcott, and lots of other people will be in this position, so I don't want it just to be about my side. They can then think, I can keep Aguero, or I can get Aguero in my case, or I can get Kane, or I can keep Kane, and that's it. If I get Sanchez in now, for example, that's the end of it. No more dreams of Aguero and Costa. They've ended. So Walcott is the completely sensible, flexible thing to do. I'm going to do it. I'm back to being boring, John T. So
he's going to have some sleepless nights. They've got a newborn. Do you think that's going to be an impact?
No, because he's got his coffee machine to look forward to, and that does sound quite interesting.
That cancels out the newborn lack of sleep. The coffee machine. Oh, believe me, I know. So that's fine. Okay, well this is interesting because this leads into Pedro, doesn't it? Right. So this is a very similar situation. Isn't it?
Yes. So we're talking about Chelsea now. So we've got Chelsea's Sanchez's Hazard. But they've also got a kind of Kane, Ibrahimovic. They've got Costa as well. So they've got these 2, 10 million plus players. And then we've got Pedro doing quite well. And we've got Moses doing very well as well.
Don't sound so surprised.
So Mark Harbour again asked, would you rather have Pedro to cover Hazard and FPL Virgin? Do we need Hazard and Costa? from game week 15 onwards. So we mentioned this before. Basically, for those who haven't looked at the fixture list, go and have a look at it and then be amazed at how brilliant Chelsea's is from now all the way through to Christmas. So let's have a look at some stats. Shots on target. Well, Hazard, he hasn't done so well in the last couple of game weeks. Well, forget that. Last 4 game weeks as a whole, 7 shots on target. So that's pretty good. And 12 chances created. Lots of potential.
But Costa's been quieter, hasn't he?
Costa's been quieter, but he's had 12 shots inside the box. So he's getting attacking and 5 on target and 12 chances. So he's there. But then just behind them, so this is like the almost Rams, you've got Moses and Pedro, who are broadly similar, really. They're both quite attacking there. And then you've got Alonso as well. So we've always been going on about him for a while. Then we've got him as well. And then there's David Luiz as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th most attacking Chelsea player, David Luiz.
Okay, well the question here, right?
Lots of options, lots of prices.
Could you, if you've got cold feet on Hazard, would you get rid of him and get Pedro and feel like you're happy with that? Is that a similar situation to get rid of Sanchez?
It's not the same as Walcott. No, definitely
not. No.
Why not?
Because I guess is Pedro nailed on right this minute? He is. Is it Willian? He's taking place.
Willian,
yeah. Right this minute he is. But he doesn't quite have the history in the Premier League that Walcott's got. I just don't think that. What is he? 7.6.
7.2.
7.2. I think he's all right to have alongside Hazard, the same way as you have Lallana alongside Firmino or Coutinho. Yeah. But as a replacement, I'm not so sure. I think Walcott is more of a replacement for Sanchez than anyone else in that price bracket.
Interesting. All right, John, to your view on that?
Well, I like Pedro a lot. I think he's good, but as I said, there is a slight question mark over starts. He's fine at the moment, but there's Willian as well. It's kind of knocking on the door. It's more the fact that I've got Alonso now, and I have Hazard. If I get Pedro, I can never get Costa.
Costa's gone.
So say, for example, this scenario happens at the weekend. Aguero gets injured. What are Aguero owners going to do? But what are Aguero owners going to do? Like every single one of them, like we've seen Coutinho, is going to be a 0.3 drop, and they're all going to be getting Costa. And I won't get Costa. Well, not all of them, but they might be getting Ibrahimovic. But a hell of a lot of them are going to look at game week 15, Chelsea at home to West Brom. They're going to think Costa. And I won't be able to get him because I've got my 3 Chelsea players, and that's what's stopping me getting Pedro. The others may be the same.
Okay.
I'd be getting here Nacho actually.
Oh, don't come with me with that.
Oh, don't start.
If Aguero got injured, that's what I get.
Just because I said I was going to get Negredo, you're just making it up.
What's going on with Nacho?
You're going to get Glenn Murray in next.
Straight swap. Why not? He's guaranteed to play in attacking City team. I told you to do this a few weeks ago. You didn't.
Do you know what?
Not if the Bruyne starts playing.
I was being unkind there. Granville has actually got a point. Then he would be guaranteed to play, and Iheanacho has got very good stats.
Yeah, well,
so that's actually quite a good shout.
Andy, what's your views on Pedro?
Yeah, I quite like him. I'd have him alongside Hazard. It would basically be, for me, it's Pedro or Costa, really. Well, it's not directly, obviously, because I have Ibra, etc. But I'm actually looking at Moses.
Brave talk.
I know, but you look at their stats between Moses and Pedro last 4. Moses had more shots in the box, more shots on target as well. Chances created are the same.
You don't need to sell Victor to me.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, you're already in the Moses camp. But the problem is, it's very difficult to convince myself to bring in someone who's playing reverse out of position. Like, it's hard, especially when we've got Alonso, which I think is probably clouding our judgment a bit.
Did you see Alonso's miss at the weekend again? He can't finish.
He spat my water out then because I was remembering.
Oh, it was unbelievable. He's going to get 1 or 2 of those a game. And he'll only convert 1 in 10, but that'll be enough to make him a brilliant FPL.
Yeah, as a defender, that's the difference. When Moses misses, you're not getting the extra clean sheet points, whereas Alonso misses, you are. Yeah. But for 5.6 and the fixtures that are coming, as a potential, enabler for maybe Sanchez for me, I am thinking about Moses as my Coutinho replacement and just banking the money for now and just seeing what I need in a couple of game weeks. Maybe Aguero back, who knows?
Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Right. Well, I mean, for me, I just think, Pedro's intriguing, but I agree with what John says about that. For me, I've got Alonso and Hazard at the moment, and it will close down the Costa option. And you never want to be, I never want to say never on Costa, which is what I think Jonty was saying there, because you just don't know. And he'd be the go-to option if Kane or Aguero got injured or suspended now, he would be obvious go-to.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the yellow card thing, though? Because that's been putting most people off now. Is it just a case where we're at the point now where you just ignore it?
It's just not happening. His record is 10, I think. He's going to beat that the way it's going. So he's got to get to game week 19. So he might do it. I thought the Spurs game, that's it. Well,
yeah, I think most people do.
But he's just, I don't know, Smith. Also, he was very unselfish against Spurs. It was like he had a couple of chances and he was, rather than going direct and shooting, he seemed to be passing, which I know that's, it's for him. I have not seen him bring in others as much as he did against Spurs in that game. So there's something going on. I don't know what's going on with him. Is it changed man? Definitely. For Pedro, I'm keeping an eye on him, but Willian will get a couple of games over Christmas. He's got to. Conte's come out today and actually said it's a very hard decision not to pick Willian. So he's laying the groundwork, I think, for giving Pedro a rest. And so it won't happen yet, but it will come, I think. It will come. So might happen to Walcott as well. He'll probably miss a game, but it's something you have to bear with these players, I guess. Sigurdsson or Fur?
This is it. Even at Swansea, we have a premium player.
Not really.
And a budget alternative. Well, a budget alternative. So you've got Sigurdsson or Fur. So Hurricane asks, is Fur enough cover for Sigurdsson? Ryan, why not have all the big guns? So he's on this mission to get everyone, like Hazard and the whole works. Hazard, Sanchez, Aguero, everyone. So he's supplementing that by looking at players like Fur and Zaha as well.
Well, as a fourth midfielder.
Yeah, as a fourth midfielder as well, and I think that's a strategy. That's quite a good strategy. So let's have a look at the old stats again. Well, Sigurdsson, no one can touch him. He's absolutely remarkable.
Well, no one can touch him outside of Swansea, either.
No, he's right. Okay, this is our century. It's 15 goal. This is Swansea, the last 4. 15 goal attempts, 18 corners, 11 chances created, 6 shots in the box, 7 on target. So that means even his shots from out the box are on target as well. He's got the lot. He's for that price. There isn't, just get him in.
But what he does do, he closes off the third option.
Well, I'm thinking because Kapui is really annoying. I never ever want to play him, and then he does keep scoring. Fur, I feel much happier about as my 5th mid. I'd actually bring him in if I didn't fancy one of the other players. So, for example, Lukaku this week, I transferred him out, but I could have benched him if I had a player that I trusted like Fur. And I do trust a player like Fur. He's very attacking. He's doing okay there. 8 goal attempts in the last 4. He's only had 3 starts. So
do you think Bob Bradley's settled now? Do you think that's his team? Because he's unchanged. That was unchanged.
I've been listening to him. There was an interview with him on Radio 5 Live, and I was very impressed with him actually. And I didn't really. He was talking about his time of managing it in Egypt, and they had the disaster at Port Said and the various stresses he undergoes there. And they're asking about whether he feels stressed at Swansea, and then you listen to him talk about his time in Egypt, and you just think it's absolutely nothing. It's easy for him. And he was saying, and that's why we're seeing these performances. He doesn't quite know his best team. I think he does know what he's doing. He seems to be getting the right people in behind the scenes. They cannot stop the goals going in at both ends of the pitch, though. So that makes them really exciting.
And he's playing Sigurdsson in the full time, which is all right.
Great fixtures coming up. So I'm looking at their fixtures and I'm thinking, wow, yeah. I mean, I'd be quite keen to perhaps get Fur in as a 5th mid. And also, I'm looking at all those teams that are playing Swansea, like we are with Harry Kane coming up. And we're thinking, brilliant, that's just 3 goals there. So
if you're playing 5, so you play 5 across your midfield?
I don't know, because I don't know. I mean, it depends. I've got to go for another cheap strike. If I get Aguero in, I've got to get a cheap striker, someone like an Ichibi. So something like an Ichibi Fur would be, whilst on paper you would look at that and go, what are you doing? These 2 players. But I wouldn't obviously hope to play them both weeks. So I've played one of them. And look at them. They score when they play, they score. So
Granville, what's your views on this? Have you got Sigurdsson, by the way? I haven't checked.
No, I haven't. No.
You haven't?
No.
You are surely you're getting him on it.
Well,
you're not going to get him in.
Well, how could I get him? Because I've got. Well, he's played Spurs next game. I don't think it's going to be fruitful for him. Yeah, of course I'm looking at him, but I've got Walcott, I've got Snodgrass, who's got good fixtures. I don't think I could fit him in anywhere. I'm just looking at Fur. He's got 37 touches in the penalty box, which is pretty good for a defensive So a central midfielder.
He's not playing defensive, is he? But yeah.
No, central midfielder, which is pretty good. Sigurdsson's got 41. I know Sigurdsson does, a hell of a lot more, particularly, on set pieces. It's just that I just can't get him in, Sigurdsson. I can get Fur in.
Wow. Okay.
Unless I swing. Well, it's Spurs next. I mean, I can save a transfer and then just look at Swansea's next game. They play Sunderland.
I'm looking at your midfield, and it's fair enough. And you're going to keep Austin up front, aren't you? So you're going to you'd have to downgrade Jenkinson, wouldn't you? And then
I could just go Snodgrass to Fur, but if I wanted Sigurdsson, I'd have to downgrade one of the defenders, which I'm not really prepared
Andy, what
to
about
do
you?
right now.
What's your views on this Sigurdsson versus Fur? You've got Sigurdsson in your team, so
yeah. I mean, for me, I'm obviously not looking for Fur. The problem I have with players like this, and it's probably the reason I wouldn't actually get Moses in, and the reason I got rid of Joe Allen is when they're that cheap, you kind of knee jerk them a bit. So if they go blank for a couple of games, I don't think they're cheap, it doesn't matter. I think I want someone who's going to score points, and that's why I got rid of Aguero, so I could upgrade that cheap midfielder to someone like Sigurdsson, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I just think. Yeah. For me, from how I play, if I got Fur in, I would just, as soon as he blanks a couple of games, I'm now then looking at the next 5.5 million.
Yeah, if you're playing him as a fourth mid, I mean, we started with Allen and Gundogan. A lot of people are getting rid now because, lo and behold, they're not going to keep pace of a midfielder who's worth 7.5 above. Right?
Yeah, I think if you get one of these players in, you have to be.
And if you get him in and expect them to, you're going to be disappointed, aren't you? So it's. Yeah, Fur's the same thing. People will get him in. He'll go 5 without scoring. People will get rid, then he'll score again, and that's what he's done. So I don't know. I think I'd be looking at him if I didn't have Sigurdsson, but I would be doing everything I can to get Sigurdsson at this moment in time. I don't think there's a really strong argument not to get him. I think it's very difficult to argue against that. Liverpool options, John T.
Well, yeah. So Fenton asked about Origi. I don't know. Origi played tonight. I don't know whether
he scored tonight.
He scored tonight. I don't know. Hopefully, he didn't get injured. I didn't watch the match, so
pick up a knock at the end.
But if he's fit, is he about to provide us with another cut price route into Liverpool's attack? And then Redart asks, will Firmino get more points or get any points really without Coutinho in the side? And this is a concern.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at. So I've had a look at a couple of matches. So let's have a look at a couple of matches where Coutinho really didn't play so much. So let's go to the first one. Where Coutinho went off injured. Firmino was still doing okay. Still a couple of shots inside the box. Put in 5 crosses. It was still there, and they won 2-0. I know Firmino didn't get the points, but I think this one's more telling. This is against
the
Leicester.
One. Yeah.
Game week 4. So that was Liverpool won 4-1. Coutinho was benched. He only played for 15 minutes, so he didn't really get involved. Well, this was huge. So and then Sturridge played for that one. So Firmino got 3 shots on target and he got 2 goals. Sturridge did well, lots of shots on target. Mane and Lallana. So all that 4 were going. So.
Yeah, so it's when Firmino moves out.
Moves out. So it may well be that Firmino stays there and maybe Lallana replaces Coutinho in that role. And that suddenly makes Lallana much more exciting to me than Walcott, and which is very annoying because I would love Lallana to be Klopp to say Lallana's fit, ready to go, and he's better than Theo Walcott. That would be fantastic.
He won't say that.
No, he won't say that, obviously, because he's not a fantasy manager. He's a real life one.
Forgetting the coffee machine.
But yeah, so that's what I would... whilst I'll probably get Walcott in, Lallana's one I'm looking at. But it's back to the question: will Firmino score points? Yes. They don't need.
You think he will? I mean, I've got Firmino. If I didn't have him, I'd want to have a look at Liverpool without Coutinho and see what happens.
Well, we've had 2 examples of it, and
I know, but that is when their tail's up and their confidence is up, and now. They're going to go into the next game going, we haven't got Coutinho for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it's going to be. And Lallana may play, may not play. So their next game, they may, it's Bournemouth. They may go into that without those 2, and let's see how they do. I think Firmino will be okay. I think it'll be all right. But I reckon we're going to see a reduction in output. They're not going to get 4 or 5 goals a game, are they, without Coutinho, do you think?
And
that's what they would do.
You were talking earlier before about downgrade. Does this player cover this player? Does Walcott cover Sanchez? How about Milner? I mean, I know that he doesn't get 40. The whole point about Milner is that he's on penalties, and they're getting lots and lots of penalties. Will he be able to cover even just in the short term any of those other midfielders, or even can? I
Well,
guess one, but
I mean, Shan's interesting.
I was
Yeah, I mean, go on, talk about Milner.
Well, no, I was just going to say, rather than cover, supplement. Because I think
supplement, it's the second one. In the same way that we said for could supplement Siggy or
at 6.6, he's a very good fourth midfielder that frees up that cash that people might need when they perhaps haven't got Kane in yet, or they're like me and they've ditched Aguero and want him back. Yeah. He is another player I am looking at.
5 goals and an assist. I mean, that's a lot.
Penalties.
That's pretty good. Yeah. It's all penalties.
But it's all penalties, yeah.
But you're right. An attacking side like Liverpool, as we've seen before, there was that season where Gerrard got 10 penalties in the season, and because a team like Liverpool will always get them.
Well, I tell you what, though, look at Shan. Look, if you're a member, look at big numbers going out tomorrow, and have a look at Shan's stats. 4.8, really, really surprising. That's what I'm looking at, because we don't know what Klopp's going to do with the team, and whether Shan's going to stay in the team, where he's going to play. So he's interested.
It was in my wildcard side initially, but I switched to Carrot to release more money for my back line. I sort of regret that now.
No, but he could get the run of starts over Christmas, so it'll be. I mean, and also, they've kept 2 clean sheets in a row. I wonder whether Klopp's going to go, okay, it's actually more important now because we're not going to score 3 or 4 a game without Coutinho, whether we need to actually solidify a bit, and whether now it is time. I haven't got Lovren, but I know, Andy, you have. 2 clean sheets in a row. The stats have always said they're a better team defensively than they've been producing. I wonder whether we'll see a shift now, whether Klopp is capable of going, we're going to curtail the attacking a little bit, and we're going to try and win matches 1 or 2-0 rather than going out 4-5-1 and 4-5-2. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens and how they react and how Klopp reacts. So, but Andy, you still got Lovren, I take it, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm still racking up the points.
Yeah, I think he'd do all right for you.
Yeah, I've got him and Firmino, and I have looked already at getting rid of Firmino, but I think I'll just have to hold and see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Origi. I don't know. I just think there's so many. Well, not maybe so many. There's good striker options right now. I wouldn't be looking. I'd be avoiding Liverpool if we didn't already have their players. I think just to see, like you said, how they go.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, going Aguero list. Don't know what this is about. John.
Well, yeah, we've already discussed this really, but just a couple of more questions, so we can just add a bit more to it. It's the special one asked: should Aguero's brace really alter the Aguero list manager's planning? He does have some tough Christmas fixtures. There's always the possibility of a rest as well with Pep Guardiola. And FPL Virgin just cuttingly says, have Aguero list managers made a huge mistake? Well, I don't think we made a huge mistake, because you can always get him back in if you've got a kind of a plan to get him back in. And I do look at those fixtures, and I think there are better players at the moment.
Well, we said, didn't we, Kane will probably outscore him in the next 4 game weeks.
He's got Chelsea next, then he's got Leicester away. I actually think the way Leicester are playing at the moment, if they've still got Zila in goal, then Aguero could do very well then. And then Watford at home. Now, one of those 2 games, I think he's going to get a rest.
He could get a rest for Watford. Then Granville will play. And
then he's got Arsenal at home, so that's not great. And then game week 18. So we're starting. I think is that Boxing Day or
Boxing Day? It's Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, Hull away. Well, then you want Aguero.
The thing is, about Aguero. You say that Arsenal at home's not great. That's the kind of game he will get a couple in, and Arsenal aren't keeping clean sheets. It's difficult to say, though.
Aguero, your classic Aguero, the hide behind your sofa if you haven't got Aguero match, is Aguero against an absolutely rubbish side, like Newcastle when he scored all those goals, or like Burnley with some pensioner in goal, and against Hull away. It just doesn't get plummier than that. And this is when you want. I don't look at Arsenal coming to town. Get your Aguero party hats out at all.
No.
But I do when I see him going away to Hull.
No, and the fact is, we looked at this, didn't we? We said we're probably not going to put the armband on him for these fixtures.
No, none of these appeal to me until game week 18 for the armband. But it's a question of, do I want to get him in to cover all those people that will captain him, because he's still got ownership of over 40%. So there's going to be a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of dead time. I mean, I'm sailing with the ghost ships at the moment. There's a dead team in one of my mini leagues. Get this, a dead team just passed me. I watched it go past like a ghost.
Hello.
It's a friend of mine. He hasn't touched his team since game week 3, and it's just sailed past me because he started the captaincy on Aguero. So there's loads of them I've got to worry about.
So look at me. I've just bought Siggy. I just bought City. He got a goal and an assist.
Yeah, look at me. I'm
I'm
alive. And then this ghost, this skeleton ship, sails past.
It's taking a mickey.
I couldn't believe it.
That's how bad it's got.
Yeah, that's how bad it's got. So anyway, that's what we got to think about with Aguero.
Points per game, right? This is interesting. You've cut this graphic out, and it is. You know, I was talking to someone today, and they were like, "I've just noticed that he's actually got the highest points per game," and we're like, "Yeah." And the impression is that Aguero hasn't even got started yet, isn't it? It's like, yeah, Aguero's done all right, but he hasn't justified his price. But then you look at this, and you go, "Blimey, he's done a little bit better than all right." It's
6.8 points per match, Costa 6.7. So these are the two super players this season. And then you've got Lukaku at 6, and then you've got Kane at 5.9. So Kane arguably might get up there with this good run.
I think he'll be pushing them in the next.
And then you've got the best of Defoe, Ibrahimovic. You get this, and Ichibi. I know he hasn't played much, but when he does, he's getting the points. So yeah going Aguero-less. I wouldn't say I've made a huge mistake, but I'm looking to get him back in, and I'm actually looking probably at game week 15.
I think you're all right. I think you're all right. I think the only unfortunate thing is you're looking at what I've done and gone, oh, blimey. I have been fortunate the way it's fallen, because if you'd have got Kane and I haven't, then you'd be going, oh, okay, well, I'm happy with that. But you're looking at my team going, he's got Kane and he's got the captain option, and he's got Aguero if it goes. So that's been very fortunate.
Because you couldn't have got Kane without either ditching Aguero or taking some hits and doing a bit of surgery in midfield.
Yeah, and I would never have done that. So basically, Coutinho's injury just made it easy for me.
Have you taken a hit?
No, because I had 2 free transfers. No, so basically, I knew that I planned to have 2 transfers in this game, so it couldn't have fallen any better for me. So, you know, I've just got to hope that it comes on. I'm going to put the armband on Kane. And so for me, I've got the best of both worlds. I've got the Aguero safety net just in case, but I'm not going to captain him probably for the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I've got Kane sitting there. So, and I've got Sigurdsson in. So it might not work out for me, but I've got to admit, Coutinho's injury was just like, wow, that's kind of made up my mind for me. And otherwise, I'd have been racked with doubt. I'd like to think I would have got rid of Aguero, even after that brace, because I didn't think City played well and the fixtures are tough and I want Kane. So, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? Let's do the weekend preview, shall we? Let's do fancy analysts and clean sheets. Is John T going to pick another Negredo?
Yeah, I am.
Is Granville going to pick Sacco? Let's be fair. You picked Sacco. That was a great pick as well. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But United are so terrible. I mean, it's another set piece, isn't it? Early in the game as well.
Yeah, 2 minutes in.
Again, I think that's happened 3 times now this season. But no, I fancy him.
Did you kick a bottle across the floor when that went in?
I didn't. I was actually out. But I did see the footage of Marino. Yeah, that's what you're referring to.
No.
The thing is, I think Sacco in the next few weeks, I think he might be an option, especially yeah. No, I don't know. Is
him and Carroll? Yeah, he's got a hamstring. He's having a scan. We know what that means. He's gone again, isn't he? It's so unfortunate because he's a decent player when he gets a run of games, but he can't get in. Carroll's going to come back in for a couple of weeks. They're having to patch up Sacco because they know that Carroll's going to break down again.
Yeah,
I feel sorry because they're both really good players. I think if they could tell me, oh, I have 10 games now, I might look at one of those two because they're priced well.
You're right for West Ham, they could tag team and just like one at a time, but they're both being injured at the same time. That's the problem.
It's a tag team wrestling team. That's what that is. It's like Giant Acex and Fit Finley. Do you remember? No, it's Big Daddy and Fit Finley. Show me.
Shirley Crabtree.
It does look. What an ITV spot on World of Sport.
That's right. Yeah, they're a tag team. Sacco and Carroll. Carroll's even got the. No, he's a bit more mobile than Haystacks. Okay, this is nonsense. Let's do clean sheets. Andy, you go first.
West Brom against Watford, I think.
Straight in there.
I've only actually got 3 written down. They're all like not very good teams either. I don't see that many.
You write them down. You prepare.
Of course I do.
Yeah,
you need to keep things flowing, otherwise I'll be here sat reading it.
So don't read them all out because we need to.
No,
this is new school now, Granville.
That's it. Chris Brunt, although I'm maybe a bit annoyed now I didn't get my call in, but yeah, Chris Brunt's going to get a clean sheet this week.
So what's your fancy on and miss while you're here then with a clean sheet?
Well,
West Brom for the clean sheet.
I was actually surprised by the lack of goal attempts from someone who usually shoots from anywhere, but Charlie Adam is going to be my fancy on and miss. 7 chances created over the last 2 games, which is the highest for a midfielder, and he's got Burnley up next, so. Yeah, he's my pick.
With a pensioner in goal, according to John T. So
there you go. No, maybe another goal from the halfway line for Charlie.
Because he loves his fantasy football. I don't know if you ever saw that on the show. Amazing, very good. Okay, Granville, your clean sheet and fancy on risk. Don't nick John T.
Well, fancy on risk. The fancy on risk. I'll go for Sunderland player. I don't even know what's going on with it. I mean, an Ichibi would be too obvious now, wouldn't it? So I'll go for.
I don't know. Can we get Green Women on the line?
Definitely not having an Ichibi.
Okay.
Is he not counting?
No, he won't. We've heard from the Green Women jury, and he says no.
Okay, I'll go for Watmore then, because he seems to be there. Sorry?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Is that right? Okay, go for Duncan Watmore.
Yeah.
And what do I need now? I need a big clean
Have you not written it down, Granville?
No, I think heck, I'm just doing it.
Yeah, go on.
I think the clean sheet will be Middlesbrough at home to Hull.
Yes.
On the Monday night game.
Yes. I noticed that Mike Dean's got that game, so we're expecting a penalty in that one. But you can't go Negredo again, John T. But go on, off you go.
Well, clean sheet. Just taking two of the ones I would have said. We have Stoke v Burnley. We haven't had Stoke yet.
No, we haven't.
Burnley are hopeless. You're in
a very harsh mood tonight.
They're very hopeless.
Okay.
And Stoke have got fantasy giants like Charlie Adam. So I don't think Burnley can do well. My fancy on a risk, and it's a risk because I don't know whether he'll start or not, is Andy Carroll. Now, Bilic seemed to...
See, we mentioned him, haven't we?
We mentioned him, but I think the reason is because if you just go on YouTube and put in Andy Carroll goal versus Arsenal, you're going to get a lot.
Yeah.
And you're going to get them when he played for Newcastle, and then last season again with West Ham. If he plays... And
I think they didn't play him at United because they
there's something pathologically wrong with Arsenal over the years. They cannot handle Andy Carroll. He is perhaps the only player they can never handle him. He would always score. I don't know what it is. But if he's in that lineup, or even if he just comes on for like 30 minutes, Andy Carroll goal, I reckon.
I mean, it is a real risk, sir. You consider he hasn't played a single minute, I don't think, this season.
And I'm on a roll. I've had Brunt and Negredo, so I'm going for Andy Carroll. It's a risk, though.
No, it's a good shout. I'm bored. I'm going to mention Emre Can again. So he was my fancy on a risk. I quite fancy John Walters because I think he might play up front for Stoke. Because I don't know what's happened to Bonnie. Did you see Mark Hughes in the press conference on Friday mentioned conveniently that Bonnie's got a release clause? If a Chinese club comes to him from in January, then he can go, and then he drops him at Watford. It's like that suggests to me that he's basically it's a Chinese takeaway. Come and get him. Come on. He's got a clause if you want him, and then he drops him at Watford. John Waters up front. Like you, I fancy Stoke against Burnley, but I'll go Emre Can. I looked at the numbers. Tasty away at Bournemouth, and I think he'll play. So I'm going that clean sheet. I'm going to have to go with. I haven't prepared this either. I'm going to go Southampton at Palace. I think Pardew's in a lot of trouble in Southampton. This is not the time to play Southampton.
No,
because they look very well organised. They got Austin up front. They can win a game 1-0, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So I fear for Pardew really in that one. I wonder whether he's going to be able to retain his job if he loses that one, and I think he might well do. We'll see. So I'm going Shan and Southampton. I want Cedric soon. He's my next transfer, I think. Talking of transfers, let's do the captains and the transfers. I've done mine already, so I'll get mine out there. You know what I've done. Kane in and Sigurdsson in for Lukaku and the stricken Coutinho. And my captain will be Kane. Simple as that. Very, very easy indeed. Andy, what are you doing?
Yeah, Kane's already in place, so he's going to be my captain. That's been planned a couple of weeks now. I've got to get rid of Coutinho, and I feel like I have to do it tonight because otherwise it's going to be 0.2 loss. And I'm seriously stuck on who to get rid of him for. I'm looking at Moses because then I can afford Firmino to Sanchez if I want to do that. But I don't know. Otherwise, I think I might just go for the fixtures and get Ali or Ericsson. So for the same good fixtures, obviously that Kane has, get them in. Then have another look at Walcott when the Arsenal's fixtures turn really good. Straight swap maybe. Okay,
Ali's a good shout maybe. Ericsson we like as well. John T, what are you doing? It's going to be hits galore, is it?
Well, I've already got in Alonso for Christian Fuchs. Christian Fuchs is literally the worst transfer. I've made some bad transfers this season. He is the worst in.
And the thing is, like, we put him top of the watch list when we looked at the fixtures, and then we knew the Schmeichel thing. We were like, oh, the Schmeichel thing. And I remember writing, we're going to put in top of the watch list, but the Smarker thing is worrying. It's been a disaster, hasn't it?
Well, it shows you the benefit of a good goalkeeper, which is not, and it's not just the fact that he can't save, but it's the fact that clearly a good strong goalkeeper marshals the defence as well. That's what they've missed. So the defence is all over the shop, and he's part of that. So he hasn't got that same license to bomb forward. His attacking stats are completely dropped off. They don't know what they're doing. So I'm sick. I've been pushing Alonso for so long now. I've had enough of it. I've got him in. So Alonso has come in.
Have you mentioned Alonso? I don't.
But so as we've also been discussing, I've got Coutinho. So I'm going to get a hit, and it's probably going to be Walcott for Coutinho. Okay. And then I have to decide whether Giroud. So if Giroud's not playing, I think I'm going to be sensible this week, and I'm going to just, if he doesn't play, I'm going to have Capu coming in and see if he can get me something.
Okay, all right. Granville, yourself, captain and transfers, please.
Well, I'm not going to change any of the attacking players. I think the only thing I might do is swap Van der Horn for, dare I say it, Amat.
Amat. Yes, Amat. It's the hokey cokey.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? He's going to, once again, he's going to shift his team and play. And
I think Amat, over those fixtures, you've got to get him, haven't you? Because he's perfect to come in if you need him. Then I think you're right.
I feel that it's a wasted transfer since I made the change in my wild card. The other thing, I could get someone like Barragan. I mean, Middlesbrough haven't got great fixtures, but at least they've got Hull this week. I don't know. I hate. I'm looking. I've got no money, so I've got to go less than 4.3 or less. There's not much you can do, really. I haven't got much wriggle room
You're shopping in the budget market
whatsoever.
No.
The other option is that I could take a risk that I guess Jenkinson's going to play because there's no Debussy. McCauley's going to play, Alonso's going to play. So it's just like I will be short of subs if I don't make a transfer. So that would worry me. Someone was out.
Yeah, and you've got nothing to worry about with Jenkinson. He's up against that Payet fella. He's not very good. That'll be fine. That'll work out fine. I mean, it's not like he played for West Ham all of last season. They know exactly how he plays. I
mean, Firmino's he's a little bit of a doubt, isn't he? So that's what worries me. Not having if Carrick doesn't play, then I've got no sub.
What are you doing with Carrick as well? How did this happen?
Anyway.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, let's talk about the Cup because we're following Icasius winning, who was the Cup winner last season. And we said we're going to follow him through, and we've all gone out. Andy, you're through, Lo, aren't you? We'll come to you in a minute on that, but you're through. I can see us winning this through as well, John T. He beat Tufts in the last round, so he's won. He's through to the last 256? Is that right? Yeah, 256. So now he is facing. I exclusively can reveal who he will have in the next round. The draw will be published tomorrow. But I will find him in here. Andy, you're through low as well. You're still flying the flag for us, I take it.
Yeah, I just actually looked it up because I knew I was okay if Austin and Ibra saved the day. So I played Lardy, who got 32. So another giant killing for me because he's ranked.
Yeah, you're smashing people, aren't you? In this
18 points are being by because he had Hazard captain. He played Capu. He didn't just couldn't cope with my Austin, Ibra captain, and Sigurdsson in the end.
Fair enough. Well, go on.
Yeah, no, I've seen who Icasius winning is playing. He is yes, Alayla Chef, and so there's just 10,000 places that separates them.
Yeah, good.
So that's quite good.
Could be close.
A few other ex-champions also got through as well, which is good. MCH, one of those, he's going to take on a community regular Rhinos in round 3. Quite interesting.
Oh, nice. I like it when the community ties come out like that.
And we got a couple of other members of the contributors and moderators. Green Wimble was through and Stilicho is through as well.
So still in there. Still in with Charles. Andy, we'll follow you. But yeah, I can see us winning. Still going, looking to retain his trophy. We'll follow him week by week and see how he gets on. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining me on the Scoutcast. Apologies again for leading you into the pit of despair about Aguero. I hope it works out for you, but I'm quite comfortable up here on the ledge now. I'm not coming down for a while, I don't think. We'll see how it goes. It's a good night for me.
Good night.
Good night from me.
Good night.
Good night all.